The playback. So, welcome everybody to
Welcome.
2025. And this is our DeNicholas small group that I wanted to do this year for you all. One, so you can see your close teammates, right? Because normally we're on the huge organization call and there's so many people and we don't know who belongs to who. And um, I don't know. This is just more intimate. And so I've been chatting with several of you all, and you've been telling me that you want to do more in your business. You just feel like you need some little extra oomph, right? So I want to give you that time and that attention that you all deserve to help you get your business thriving in 2025, right? So I thought that was such a cool name, Thrive in 25. So that is our group name. Um, and I would love for us to meet once a month for the next 3 months. Anybody that's willing and able and, wanting to work for more in their business. And so today I just wanted to kind of get on here and, I'd asked you all in the chat, what would you like to see? Um, what would you like to see tonight, to learn about? What could you use some help on? And overwhelmingly, people were saying, I need help with bookings. Yeah. Anybody?
Yeah.
Anybody? Yeah. I feel you. I feel you. So I don't know if you all heard me say this on the Monday night call, but I really felt you at the beginning of January. I did have bookings on my calendar, but not nearly the bookings that I need to run my business at the level that I do. And so I was feeling a little bit nervous, right? I hold myself to very high standards and to run a certain number of shows every week, no matter what. And if I fall behind that, I feel kind of like y'all do, kind of like, what's happening? I need help. We need to do something. So absolutely, speaking from experience, really what it took for me was kind of just shutting everything else down and focusing on bookings and being very intentional about it. Okay. So I will tell you, since the beginning of my business, I have been very diligent to hold myself accountable. And I think that's one thing that is important. It's really helped me to get where I am today is that I when I set time to do something or I tell myself I'm going to do something, I really, you know, I'm very regimented on it. And so whether it is I'm telling myself I'm spending 1 hour a day on my business, I do that. And I find that time somewhere in the day religiously because if I don't have that consistency, it is so easy to get off. Life happens, you all. It does not matter if you have a full-time job, if you stay home, if you're a caretaker for somebody else, if you're whatever your day looks like, we always fill it with something. It will always be filled with something. And so, as a business owner, we have to be responsible for our business and keeping the doors open and working our business. And I get it. I know life happens and sometimes we're sick or kids are sick or you have to work late or whatever happens. And so I'll tell you one thing that, again, that I did from the beginning of my business is if I knew that I wasn't going to be able to work on my business today and I was slotted to work an hour today, what day's today? Thursday, then I would make up that time in other days. So if I had an hour that I was supposed to work today and I didn't get to it, I would do, um, you know, an extra hour tomorrow, or I would do 15 minutes tomorrow, 15 minutes the next day, like an extra. So just like if you were to work for somebody else, they would expect you to make up that time, right? And I get to be my own boss, which is wonderful, but also not wonderful when you don't hold yourself accountable, right? So I had to learn that early on in my business that something like this is very flexible and you can work it around whatever you need to, but you can't make it optional because at the beginning of my business, I didn't understand that. I'm like, oh, it's flexible. I'll work on it Saturday and then Saturday comes and my kids want to go do this, and my husband wants to go do that. And I was like, oh, well, I was supposed to work on my business. I'll just do it later. Right. And then the whole next week goes by because this happens and that happens or whatever. And then it's the next Saturday before I know it. So, what I found to be the best for me is to pick out a time. First of all, figure out, family is first, right? Whatever we have going on with our family, put that down on a calendar. If you have a full-time job, put that on your calendar. I love time blocking. I didn't used to, but I learned to because that's the way that I hold myself accountable, right? So I would take a calendar, and I still love my paper calendar, y'all. You see that I got it all scribbled up, all kinds of mess. You would be terrified if you saw what was on. I mean, look, I got post-it notes on my. I got it. I got stuff scribbled all over the place. But it's what helps me do the things I need to do because I look at my calendar every day. So maybe sit down on a Sunday and say, okay, what am I, what are my work obligations outside of the home? What are my family obligations? Write them in. And then you say, okay, outside of that, how can I fit Pampered Chef in here? Because I know I need to touch it every single day. And whether it's 30 minutes a day or an hour a day or whatever it is you are committing to yourself in your business, be committed to that. And I do really feel like that touching your business every single day makes a difference. Again, if it's 15 minutes, that's okay. Like if that's what works for you and that's all that you can dedicate to your business, that's okay. Sometimes that 15 minutes, we could send, 15 booking messages, or we could reply to some messages that we got. We could work in our parties a little bit, right? So figure out how you can fit Pampered Chef in each day, and what does that look like? How much time do you allow? Do you give yourself to work that business? And then when you figure out the time that you're going to be working, what are you going to do? What is the most important things to move your business forward? And bookings, right? If we don't have bookings on our calendar, there's no sense in making a pretty graphic or, scrolling through Facebook on old shows or, I mean, really, honestly, if we don't have bookings on our calendar, we don't have a business. So starting with being committed that all your work time, whatever that looks like for you, whatever that time is, sending those messages and getting those bookings, right? So I was talking with a couple of you all this past week, and we were talking, like Melanie and I just talked about that. Susan and I just talked about, how can I fit that into my everyday, my crazy everyday. And, we had also talked about, sending messages and what does that look like for you? So, that we start new consultants and we say, send 30 messages a day every day. Like learn that consistency of your business because reach outs are the key. And I've been there, like, listen, I know a lot of times we may send 30 messages and maybe I did it on Monday and I sent 30 on Tuesday and I sent 30 on Wednesday. And then by Thursday, I'm like, holy crow, I sent 90 messages and everybody's told me no because that's all the responses was no. But if you really look back at it, maybe you only had 4 people that replied. Or we get in our head. So our human tendency is to think the negative. Oh, they're ignoring me. Oh, they're not interested. Oh, they don't want to book a party. Oh, I see their little dot, their little face where they read my message. They're just ignoring me. They're not interested. Nobody wants to host a show. And we tend to go down that negative path, that negative thought process. And that's not the case always. Now, I will tell you, personal experience, this happens all the time to me. I do a lot of my work from my phone, right? Because I'm running kids, doing whatever. Sometimes I'm working from 3 screens. I have my desktop, my laptop, my phone open, and I'm trying to like multitask all of them. And I'm going to use Deanna as an example. Maybe Deanna sends me a message. She says, hey, Jennifer, can you send me the template? And I'll say, oh, I'll see it out of the corner of my eye. Okay, okay, Deanna, 1 second. And then, you know what happens? Some on my laptop dings, and then I'm going and looking, and then I have to go grab this and do that, and then whatever. And then 3 hours later, Deanna's over there sitting like, she just said she was going to send me a template, right? And she sees that I saw the pictures, that I saw the message. But life happens. So I want you to know that that happens to other people too. They're not intentionally trying to ignore you. I will be in the car rider line and I see somebody's message and I open it up to read it and I intentionally want to reply, but then the car rider line starts moving. And then my daughter gets in the car and then we have to run to the grocery store and then we have to put the groceries away and blah, 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 blah. And then I'm laying there at 11 o'clock at night and I'm like, holy smokes, I forgot to reply to Deanna. Right? I'm going to do it first thing in the morning. Then I get up the next morning and my whole list of emails and messages and calls and all of that, and I forget. Now, if Deanna knows me, she knows I stay busy. So she also knows to send me a reminder message. Hey, Jennifer, I know you're busy. Just wanted to remind you were going to send me this template. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad you reminded me. I'm so glad you sent me another message, right? I want you to think about that when you're sending people's messages. Maybe they see it, but who knows? Anybody ever give their phone to their kids and their kids messing around on their phone? Maybe they open it up and then the people never see it. Or maybe Facebook sends it to the others folder and they really don't see it. I want you to put that in place of they're not replying. They're ignoring me. They saw it, but they just don't want to host a show. They're ghosting me. Like, right? I want you to turn that negative to a positive. And also, just like I was telling Melanie yesterday, every message that you send is planting a seed, right? And that is putting your name in front of them again. So just this week, because I send so many messages, I don't even know. I'd hate to count how many messages I send in a week. I really would. I probably couldn't count that high, to be honest with you. But so I send a lot of messages and I get a ton of no responses, tons of not seens, right? And so, first of all, the not seens, that's why it's important for us to follow up. And then that person that went through the car rider line and forgot about it, maybe they were thinking, oh, yeah, it'd be fun to have a Pampered Chef show. But then by the next day, they've completely forgot. So you circle back around. Hey, Debbie, just checking in. Wanted to see if you got my message yesterday. I know how busy you are. I'm so glad you messaged me, right? Anyway, so every time I message someone, it plants a seed and it reminds them that I'm still a Pampered Chef consultant. I'm still around. Okay. And so this week I had gotten a message from a lady and I hadn't talked to her. She hosted an in-home show with me years ago. I don't know, years ago. And I'll check in with her. I don't know. It's probably every 6 months, whatever. Hey, just checking in. How you doing? We got this special going on. And she never replies to me. Never replies to me. But she sent me a message today and said, I need to order 2 of these so-and-so and so. Right? You know why? Because I'd planted a seed and I kept watering that seed and reminding her, guess who your Pampered Chef consultant is? And then the same week, this week also, another lady hosted a show with me way back when. I didn't even remember her name, but she had put me in a message with her niece and said, my niece wants to host a Pampered Chef show. And I remember, we had such a fun show. I don't remember her. I don't even know how long ago it was I hosted a show, but I plant those seeds. So even if they don't reply to you now or next week or next month, they will remember to come to you when they need something. Okay. So I want you to think about how many seeds did I plant today? Right? I planted 30 seeds today. I sent 30 messages and that feels good, right? Because you're putting that out there and you're like, oh, think of me, think of me. And, there's no rule on how many times you can message somebody. And so until they say, no, Jennifer, I'm really not interested in Pampered Chef, I'll follow back up with them because we often have really good specials. Really good specials. And I don't want to miss somebody if they're really interested in it. And how will they know unless I tell them? Right? I mean, there's some products that I love. I love Mary Kay. I wear it all the time. If they had a really good special, I would want my consultant to let me know about it. And if she didn't, I'd kind of be bummed. I'd be like, maybe I need to look for another Mary Kay consultant that can tell me about the specials, right? So don't feel like you're bothering people by giving them the information. Okay. Any questions? Let's talk about that a little bit. Anybody have any feedback or thoughts on that?
I had a question.
Yeah.
I was wondering about emails. So like the emails that go out, like the customer connection emails.
Hmm.
But then what about like emails that we send? Like sometimes I went in there and I found that we can send our own template and it'll email everyone in our group that's been emailed. I was wondering if anybody does anything with that because at some point I decided to try it over Christmas and then I got like a $150 order came in the next morning after I did
Uh,
my own like email. But I just was wondering if other people were doing that or if there was thoughts on what your personal emails were like compared to the customer connection ones.
well, I've had that happen too because is as long as you have a website subscription, which we get when we sign up, it's free for 90 days, and then after that we pay, I don't even know what it is now, $7 a month for them to do all that work for us, which is fabulous. They send emails on our behalf as long as we're opted in for it. And they send, I don't know, they don't send it any like some places send me like 4 emails a day. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's kind of excessive. But Pamperchev does send a couple out a week on our behalf. But I have went in and sent my own CCEs, customer connection emails, and I feel like it picks up different people. And I'm not really sure why, but it feels like it does because I get responses. I get more responses from the ones I send manually than the ones the company sends. So that's a good question, Rebecca. And I actually want to share with you all. Let me go in. Let me show you all how to do that just in case maybe you don't know or you haven't done it in a while. And there's a way to update your customer connection, your opt-ins too. So let me show you. We're going to get signed in here. All right, so when you go into consultant, you all can see my screen, right? Thumbs up. Okay. So when you go into contacts, it will bring up, and I'm not supposed to show names or YouTube will take my video down. So I'm just going to try to do it where I'm not showing anybody's information. But when you go here, there's a whole list of people down below here. And what you can do is you can click to check all and it will pick everybody up. See, I have 25,000 contacts. I've been selling Pemberton for 21 years. I got a whole lot of contacts. So you may not have that many, but have 100, whatever. They accumulate. The more people, customers you get, the more that'll increase. So when you check that little box for everyone, you can go to, hold on, where is my opt-in people? Again, I'm trying not to show any info without. There's an opt-in, and I just did this the other day. Oh, add to group. Here we go. Okay, right here. So you check everybody and then you click add to group. And you need to do this, I don't know, periodically, because somehow it misses some of the people. Now, if somebody opts out for your emails, this will not add them back into it, but it will pick anybody up that didn't pick an option, yes or no, that they want customer connection emails. So you go into add to group, and then you would click in home office marketing emails and add to group. And that will pull in any extra people that haven't been added to get emails from you. Maybe I shouldn't have actually done that because I don't know how long it takes to get through there. We'll just let that sit there for a minute. Say I want to send my personal email out, just like Rebecca was talking about. You're going to click whoever, and you can categorize it by guest and host, and it has all down the side. It'll have different categories, and you can choose any of those. I recommend just send it to everybody. We'll see who gets it and who replies. So I love this check all box. But then there's this send customer connection emails. And you can click on that, and then it comes up with preset templates, already have words, already have pictures, and you can easily go with that. Or you can go in and create your own, retype it, pick a picture, whatever, and send it out. So a lot of times if I'm doing different types of specials, maybe just for my customers, maybe I want to offer, a free gift with purchase, or a booking incentive to get some more bookings, then I can go in and type that up and do that myself. So if this ever updates, okay, here we go. All right, so this told me that, wow, 13,900 people have been added to my contact list. How about that? So it tells you all about that. Oh, I have a ton that are having invalid emails. Oh, see, it says if they've already marked unsubscribe, it's not going to add them back in there. So that's good, because we don't want to annoy people if they're not interested in being in that. All right, so let's pick some people. I'll show you this customer connection email and how that works. It's pretty cool. I mean, this website does everything for us. It is, I can't even imagine how much it would cost if I had to pay somebody to do all this. So $7 to me, worth it. And then typically I get one order on my website and it's already paid for it. Okay, let's see. My computer's running a little slow too, but all right, while that's going, any other questions?
Jennifer, I actually have one, and it's kind of off topic of this, right, you're doing right here, but I know you showed me in the past, and it goes hand in hand with staying organized
Mm-hmm.
and keeping things where you can get to them and such. But on your, um, I guess your, what do you call it, folders, you set up folders where you put each of your shows under a particular week.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get into doing that, and I've never done it. But when you get like, I have like 7 shows right now I'm trying to keep track of. And if I try to do it, it's constantly having to go back in and check and da da da. Here, you put it up here in a folder, and I'm not sure how you do that. Could you explain how you do that
I
so we can stay
will.
organized?
I will. Let me finish this since it came up, and then I'll explain all that. That is a handy dandy tool too.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that that came up and it's telling me there's 16,000 recipients for whatever I want to send them, I could do a custom one where it just adds a picture and then open space for me to write whatever I want to. Or we could do January new consultant offer. This is good. I could always use some new consultants on my team. Let's just send that one, right? And so it pre-fills all this. And then where it says bracket, first name bracket, it's going to pre-fill their name in there. So you don't have to do anything with that. And then it gives you some great verbiage of what to say. You can add a shop now button on there. You can add a host a party. You can add a join my team link on there, and it will take them directly. So when somebody gets it, they can click right into that button and it's interactive, right? And it already has my email signature. So we'll just pop that thing right out the door, and then we'll see how that goes. I just went out to 16,000 people. So here we go. Talk about some mass marketing, right? So any more questions about that? Nope. And I typically will try to do one once a month, just, maybe catching people that the regular emails that the home office sends out wouldn't get. All right, so what Susan is talking about is here on your dashboard, right here on your, well, maybe it's not called dashboard, but bookmark bar, okay? So now I use a Mac, but it should be similar on, another type of computer. But I do a lot of shows. I typically run 10 shows, 8 to 10 shows a week. So it's hard if you're on Facebook and you're trying to find where all your shows are. So I put them all in a little folder. See here, I have January 3rd. So all of my parties for January 3rd are bookmarked in here. How do you do that, Jennifer? Well, I will show you. So I go into one of my parties, Kelly's, one of the shows for this month. And once you're in there on Apples, there's a star here. And you click on the star and it will pull it up, whatever you want to name it, and what folder do you want it to go in. So I already have the folder set up, but you can do the drop down and you can pick any of these other folders. Or if you don't have a folder to put it in, you could put it right on your bookmark bar. So it'll pull up here. Now, how do you create a folder? Well, I just put my arrow over the bookmark bar. I hit right click and then add folder. And then January 17th is my next group of shows after this. So I'll just hit save and there it is. So when I click on it, I don't have any parties in there right now, but that's where they would go whenever I bookmark them. Now, maybe I bookmarked Kelly's and I didn't mean to put it there. So I could just grab it and then move it right over into that file. And there she is. Right? If I made a mistake, right click on it, delete it out. Okay. And I have folders and folders and folders. Look at this. Here's my 2024 stuff. Okay. And here's a folder of Carpenter Facebook groups. Here's a folder of past shows. And see, like I have all of my shows. And once I'm done with them, then I move them over into my past show folder. So here's all the shows that I ran for August 23 last year, or August 23rd of last year, right? So they're all categorized. Same thing, anything I needed with my team, it's all in here. So I try to keep my little categories just like you would for a notebook and your chapters, right? And that has been one of the best tips. I don't know where I learned it, but it is one of my favorite things on staying organized. Any other questions? Okay, so let's talk about, so we were talking about dedicating your time to your business, but we didn't really get into like, how do I get my bookings? So again, the first thing is sending messages out. The way that I have been getting bookings lately, because I started, let's see, and I did talk about it last night or Monday night call. I think I started this month with 19 bookings on my calendar. And I know you probably think that is a lot, which it is, but for me, it's not, because I want 40. And that's how I pay my bills, is by having 40 shows. I do 10 shows a week. I book 10 shows a week. They all don't hold, but I do book that many. And I only had 19 for the whole month. So I was short, right? 21 shows. I needed 21 more shows to get where I needed to be to get the income that I expect out of my Pampered Chef business. And so I was just like, I'm just going to message everybody. I'm going to let them know about, all, the double free stuff, because people love the double free stuff. And I tell people, I'm like, if you've ever thought about hosting a show ever in your life, do it in January. Get the double free stuff. And so I did one. I can share this with you too. Let's see. And you all are always free to go stalk my Facebook page and see what I put on there and use any of it that you want. I'm not stingy. I just made this the other day. I thought this was kind of cute. It's just scrolling through what one of my hosts got for free. And then I have some cute little sound behind it or whatever. So somebody can see, like, everything on this list was free for hosting a show. So trying to get into making some more reels, whatever. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so I posted this the other day. And if you love Pampered Chef stoneware, pick a number 1 through 100. And I'm going to do a drawing for everybody that comments. I'm just offering a half price stone. You can just say to win a free gift and then do, or a free prize. You can do a virtual e-cookbook or a season's best cookbook. It doesn't have to be big or expensive. Just get people commenting. So I have 103 people that commented. And I will show you what I sent them. So when they send a message, you just hover over it, you click on messages, and then that's how I message them. So I sent them, and I can share this with you all too. Um, hold on. Apparently didn't message her this time. Okay, I know I messaged Cheryl. Okay, so I like to start my stuff with emojis because then it reminds me which messages I was sending out and what it's about, so it's easier for follow-up. Hey Cheryl, I hope you had a great holiday in getting 25 started strong. I love PC Stoneware too. I use it just about every time I cook. Did you see the exclusive new Hearthstone? It's only available. Look, I didn't even spell it right. Whatever, who cares? For 2 weeks this month for people that gather $200 in orders. I would love to help you get one. It only takes sharing a catalog with friends and gathering about 4 orders to earn it. Would you like to give it a try? It's so easy. I can set up a link for you to share. Can I set up a link for you to share with friends? Well, she didn't reply to me. So she is apparently on my list to get back to, or I'll need to follow up with. But I sent this to every person that commented, and I got 6 bookings from it. 6 people that agreed to share a link. And I can send you all this message. I will correct the typo error. But what I do is when I send them a message is I just go in and I like their comment. So it reminds me who I've replied to and who I haven't. So if I've sent them the first message, I send them a like. Rosie's one of them that booked a party. And then I can scroll through and I can see later because, I couldn't send 101 messages at one time without Facebook being wonky. Then I know to go back to these people that I haven't liked their comment. Now, when I send a follow-up message, maybe I want to look through and I want to send these follow-ups, I can change it from a like to a heart, and that way I know I sent them a follow-up too. That's just one of my little notes that I keep up with. But I have a lot of people on here I hadn't replied to yet. So that got me lots of bookings. Also, I use Project Broadcast, and I don't want to get into all that right now. If anybody's curious about it, we can talk about it later. It's just a texting app, but, and is it worth it? Yes, when you have a big contact base, it absolutely is worth it for good customer service and then sales and things like that. But I sent a lot of those out, and I did get a lot of bookings from that too. And the message I sent for that, I'm thinking, because I can absolutely share that with you too. Let's see. Let me just go in and grab it real quick. Um, okay. So what I sent, and this is the same message that I send through Facebook, if I'm just like going through my friends list and just sending random messages to people, not through like that heart one, but just random messages. I say, hey, Shannon, I hope you're doing well and had a great Christmas. I'm setting up my January Pampered Chef shows, and I'm so excited to offer double free rewards from my host, and I would love to include you. It's all online and super easy. If you would rather do a link share party and collect $200 before January 15th, you will get an exclusive Hearthstone. Do you want in on the fun? And so oh yeah, wonderful. Why, yes. How about that? That always makes you happy, right? So I don't have her follow up. But I can send you the follow-up message too, because I ended up getting, I think I got like 6 bookings from my first run, and then I got like 7 bookings from the follow-up. So follow-up makes a big, big, big difference. But you all, it really is just messaging enough people to find the ones that want to say yes. And they're out there. They're out there. I got 25 bookings in a week. So I know they're out there. I'm not even going to think about how many messages I sent that people didn't reply to or told me no. Who cares? I got 25 bookings. That was 25 yeses. Out of all the messages that I sent, I don't care about the ones that said no. Right. And I'll copy these messages and send them over to you as well. Now, just keep in mind if you're doing the Hearthstone or we're running late on time, right? Because those, in order for somebody to get the Hearthstone, they have to have their party and close it, has to be submitted to the company by the 15th. So you can still do link parties. You could still do like a 15-minute text party on Messenger. You could do a link party for those of you that don't know. You just create a link, you give it to your host, ask your host to message it out, text it to friends, post it on Facebook, all of those things. So there's still time to do that. And still, some people can still try to scrounge up some orders that way. Any questions on that?
I have a question.
Mhm.
You're talking about the link. What link do you send them? Do you send them your personal one so they go there, or do you
I set
create
up a
one?
party. I set up a
Okay.
party for them and then give them their own personal link.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Thanks.
Because then if they get $200, they've qualified as a show. They're getting, rewards that way. And who knows? I've had some people that host a link party and their shows have more sales than Facebook parties. It just depends on your host, right? I mean, all of it depends on your host because we can do parties and you have one host that doesn't show up, doesn't comment, doesn't post anything in her party, and then they have no sales. And then you have another host who posts all the things and interacts in the party and sends the messages and they have $1,000 show, right? We have, we're doing the same thing. It's just how active our hosts are. Okay. What other questions do you have? Was that helpful? Did that give you some ideas? I will give you all the words for that. What do you say we do a fun booking blitz in our chat? So we can all hold each other accountable for doing the things, sending the messages, finding some bookings, and then when you get bookings, we'll celebrate with you. It'll be fun. I was doing it with when I needed bookings last week. I was chatting with some of my directors, and I'm like, "Hey, y'all, I'm kind of in a pickle. I need some more bookings. Anybody want to, do it with me, and then we can hold each other accountable." I thought maybe one or two people will. I was like, all of the directors were like, me, I need more bookings. Let's do it. So we're all in this little chat and we're all like throwing snowballs. We're like, hey, I got a booking. Then we, like do a gif of a snowball and another one would throw a gif when they got a booking. And then we were like putting numbers. Oh, I got my third booking. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So let's do that. Y'all want to do that in our chat group? It'll make it fun. So again, adding a little fun to the, sending the same messages out or whatever. And then we can cheer you on because it's always fun when to see people get bookings and it's like, oh my gosh, I did it. We'll pat herself on the back. I sent my messages. And I want you to, at the end of the day, when you sent your messages, I want you to say how many seeds you planted, right? I sent 30 messages. I planted 30 seeds today. And maybe it grows, right? If it sprouts, it means you got an order, you got a booking, whatever. So it sprouted into a flower. I know we're not springtime, but kind of the whatever. So what do y'all want to do? Do you want to do numbers when you get a booking? Do you want to do gifts of plants or do you want to do gifts of snowballs? What would be fun for you all?
I like the snowball thing. I like hitting it. Hitting
Let's do
people
it.
with it.
Let's do the snowballs because it's going to be snowing all over the place.
Right.
That sounds good. All right. Anybody have any questions or anything else they wanted to chat about tonight? No? Did you all like the call? Was it helpful for you all? Okay.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it is helpful.
Okay.
I have a question about the Google Calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Love mentioned that on the call on Monday, I believe it was.
Mhm.
And I have heard it before. I have Google Calendar on my phone, but I can't seem to get the team calendar or a separate Pampered Chef calendar. Am I
Okay.
misunderstanding something or
No,
missing a step?
you should be able to get to it on your computer too. As long as you're logged into the same email address on both, you can pull them up. Okay, let's see. So here's my Google Calendar. They're linked together. So as long as you're using the same Gmail account, and do you know, are you definitely using your Gmail account on your computer that you're using on your phone? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, one thing, okay, so I believe you're talking about the daily drip that Love shares, right?
Uh, well, we've got the daily drip. I got access to that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then there was something else that she said you could put on your calendar, maybe blocking the time that you were going to commit to your business for each day.
Oh, how to set that up? Um,
Well,
so
I can't, when I go to calendar on my computer, I don't have these quote other calendars down there. They don't seem to populate in.
now, so you do, and I'm just trying to figure out exactly what you're talking about, but you can take these calendars off or you can put them on just by checking that box, like the daily drip. This is all the stuff that gives us to do daily, right? And
Right. Okay.
um,
Yeah.
do you see that on your phone or no?
No.
Not even on your phone.
Mm-mm.
I think,
I might need to have a time to share the screens with you.
yeah, Ramona, send me a message in Facebook and let me check with Love and see if your email is on the calendar. Because she may need to do something on the back end to get you on there.
Okay.
But yeah, so now that, I mean, this is great. I love having this on here because it tells you when you have a party, here's your host coaching for
Mhm.
Thursday. And here are your party tasks, things to do in your party. Well, if you don't have a party, here's some booking messages, right? Outside of the party. So here's some scripts of what to send. So, Debbie, that might be helpful for you as a brand new consultant. If anybody does not have this for their Google Calendar and they want it, send me a message with your Gmail address and I'll check with Love to make sure she can get you on that. But yeah, I just removed mine because I do mine from memory now all the time, but it's super, super helpful. All right. Any other questions on that? Well, you are so quiet tonight. All right. Well, I have enjoyed seeing your smiling faces, my friends, and I'm excited about our booking blitz. It's going to be fun. So, yeah, we'll do that. I'll put all the words that I shared with you in that chat group, our Thrive for 25, in that chat group so you all can copy it, use it, share it, change it up if you want to, or just give you something to work with. And then let's get to it. Let's get some bookings. Sound good?
Thank
Wonderful.
you, Jennifer. Appreciate your time.
Welcome. All right. Well, I will chat with you all soon, friends. Have a great night.
Stay safe in the snow.
Yeah, you too.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good night.
Bye-bye.